His love endures forever. If you are in Him, you will always be in Him. Trust the character of God. He's not like us. He's not easily angered. He's not willing to be offended. He is loving, which means that He is patient and kind. He does not envy or boast. He is not arrogant or rude. He is not irritable or resentful. He does not rejoice in sin, but rejoices in the truth. It means that God bears all things. He believes all things. He hopes all things, and He endures all things. It means that He never fails. And get this, it means that His love covers a multitude of sin. And there we are again, back in Genesis 3, He covers the sin of sinners because we can't get the stain off of ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
And so in His kindness, He does what we cannot do because His love endures. Take forever out a minute because we like to make that about time. Let me tell you this way. His love endures your rebellion. His love endures your sin. His love endures your hard heart and your unchanged mind. His love endures your slowness to trust Him. His love endures us because He's holy. But in all of this, when God says, I'm not going because I'll consume you if I'm with you even for a second, Moses knew God's heart and he wouldn't stand for it. Moses knew that the presence of God was far more important. It was far more valuable, far more treasured than the promised land. And so Moses said, if you don't go, please don't send us. Which I think it's a good thing Moses said that from the mountain. Because I imagine there would have been a large group of Israelites that would have said, wait a second, Moses. Wait a second. His voice scared us to death. He's told us His presence could destroy us. Let's just get to the promised land and we'll see what happens with this God. Moses was called for a reason. He was Israel's spokesperson, but here he was speaking for himself. I think I can paraphrase it this way. I don't want the promised land unless you are in it with us. I want you. I'd rather stay in the desert the rest of my life with you than go to the promised land without you. Guys, are we willing to make that statement? Are we willing to say in His presence tonight, you know what? I've probably lifted some promises way higher than they belonged. I just want you. Because here's the thing that I've discovered is most of the time, if we just choose Him, whatever the purpose was, He'll bring it about. Whatever the promise really was, He'll bring it about. And I'm not saying this is how you get what you want, because He knows your heart. What I am saying is if we would ever delight ourselves in the Lord, we would discover that He becomes the desire of our heart. And when He becomes the desire of my heart, every single thing He gives me is good, and everything He withholds me, I trust His goodness in the middle of it. There's this point where we have to be willing to say, like Moses, I choose